Hello everyone, welcome back to the Addicted Bookworm where my addiction's all over the internet. So on this channel I do book hauls, book reviews of both physical and digital books, audiobooks, and so much more. Alright, so it is still Friday, it's like 11:04 right now, so even though I said earlier that the video that I uploaded, which was the Kindle reading vlog, I believe episode 17 was going to be my last video. Things happened. It always does with me because that's just who I am. So I had plans to go to Walmart because we have a Walmart right now, not too far from the job, because I needed to buy another package of socks because my big toe decided to slice a couple of my socks open. Yeah, big toe naughty. So I was going to get socks, withdraw some money so I could, make sure I got to and from work for the last couple of days before my brother gets paid. And so, first of all, I found this, which is so freaking cute. I'm a Disney girl. I don't care. I did get my socks, though. I'm not going to show you because you guys know what socks look like. So, yeah, things happened. So, me being me, I knew that the new Susan Collins book had come out. Barnes and Noble had this whole thing about, it was a promotional thing. All of the events for Susan Collins' new Hunger Games book sold out. So even if I wanted to go, I couldn't go because it's all sold out. Well, I went to Walmart. Oh, sorry, I went to their book aisle. Everyone knows I'm at Walmart in this story, and they had the Hunger Games. They had. I thought at first they had just the new book and maybe like two of the older books. And then I checked the side, and they had all of them. They had all five of Susan Collins' Hunger Game books. So I'm about to show you the most demonic, evil series since Harry Potter. Okay. So first of all, I got Sunrise on the Reaping. Now, I discovered something that made me go, yeah, she's going to make a couple more $1,000,000 off of this. So I went to look at it on the phone, and there was news that I forgot the studio that did the original Hunger Games trilogy and also do the Ballad of Snake and Songbirds. They announced the day after this book came out that they were going to make it into a movie. So, yeah, you're going to get another movie. So, I got this. This is a Walmart exclusive, and I didn't really how's this an exclusive? And then I saw this. So, this is like a timeline of Panium. So I'm going to carefully remove it from it, and I am going to hang it up on my wall. Right. Now these are all with sprayed edges, or yeah. Alright, so this is the Hunger Games. This is a beautiful, look how nice that is. So, got that one. See here. I don't know which is the second book. So, here's Mockingjay. So, that one, beautiful cover, absolutely beautiful. Then we got Catching Fire, another beautiful cover. And then I got The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So got that one. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful cover. Love it. Now, some people did not like the film adaptation of this book. I have never watched it at all. So, yeah. I'm actually going to double check to see if my brother actually owns The Hunger Games. I don't know if he does. I watched it in 2012. I know, so long ago. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it so much that I borrowed it from Amazon. So what I am actually going to be doing is I'm going to have my tablet up here, and I am going to be watching The Hunger Games on my tablet, and you're going to get a reaction video from that. Now I'm going to have my headphones on because I don't want the video to be strike down or given a copyright strike, because you know how some people are. They're like, oh, you know, we're trying to get this video taken down and everything. So, for people that want to know, have I ever read The Hunger Games? No, I have never read The Hunger Games. Now, I have read 8 chapters of The Hunger Games, and I am definitely going to be very blunt about this. The dystopian trilogy, the Hunger Games trilogy that came out in, I believe, 2012. It might be a little earlier. I don't remember what year it came out, but I do remember the movie came out in 2012. Yeah, the year that everyone thought the world was going to end. And the book, and this is interesting about Susan Collins and her books, is that it drew male readership to the series. And we had a character that people could really rally behind. And she is a strong female character without shoving it in your face. And Susan Collins, I personally believe, just by watching the first movie, did a great job in depicting a girl that was fighting for something that was important to her. And I remember, I think I borrowed it. I don't know. I gotta see if, I don't think we got it, but I gotta see. But I remember watching that movie. I remember watching it. And there's a scene in there. I'm not going, when I get to the scene, I will give my reaction. But nowadays, you could not write that scene in a book. You could not write it. Because it would cause such an issue with people. That's why the 2012s and 2025 are two separate decades, two separate centuries. And, you know, Susan Collins got away with that scene because the scene was important, not to push the white girl forward, but to really show the brutality of this government. And if anybody has watched the movie, you know what scene I'm talking about. So there a lot of stuff that she wrote in it, people would have had issues with it, especially in today's day and age, where most people have a problem with a lot of the stuff that authors write. But I thought I really broke down and cried with that one scene because of what happened. And I made a comment. I said, yeah, they fucked up. They fucked up so bad. But yeah, so it's interesting. That scene was interesting in the movie, and I know they're going to show it in the book because it is such an important scene. It is a turning point for everything. But yeah, this is the the Hunger Games trilogy itself has been banned in every country, or challenged or restricted in every country for various different reasons. Here in the United States, it has been challenged and banned for violence towards children, and when I read the reasoning of why the Hunger Games trilogy, especially violence towards children, I always say to myself, then you don't understand what a dystopia is. Dystopias are not nice. Dystopias are not meant to make everybody happy except for the elites. And that's what the Hunger Games, as the movie, really showed, and really showed very well. As I said, you could not film, or you could not have that kind of movie anymore. And I've not watched the movie that's an adaptation of this book, but a lot of people didn't like it. Now, I don't know if it was mainly fans of the original trilogy that didn't like it, or people that honestly had never read the books or didn't know anything about Susan Collins' work. I don't really know why they didn't like it, and I'm pretty sure it was because Zellweger, she has her own problems, issues. I really think they should have cast somebody else for that role. But to see Snow, who would be later on become President Snow, as this young man is like weird. But yeah, so I am super excited about watching the Hunger Games once again. I had not seen it. In all honesty, the last time I saw the movie was in 2012. So it has been a very long time since I've seen that movie. I have forgotten most of what happens in the movie, so it'll be like I've never watched it before. I will say this. I did not watch. I have not watched Mockingbird and Catching Fire, or Mockingjay or Catching Fire. I have not watched those two movies. I dropped it after the first movie, not because I didn't like the first movie. I absolutely loved it, but I just was not interested in. I was interested in reading the books. I wasn't interested in watching the other two movies. Well, now that I have both the books, all three books, The Ballad of Songbird and Snakes, and the new one, I'm definitely going to be watching those movies, either again with the first one, or for the first time with the other ones. I am going to give my honest opinion. I'm going to stop the movie. You're not going to see the movie on the screen once again to protect me from copyright strikes, just like the headphones are there to protect me from copyright strikes. But it's going to be a long video, but I hopefully it'll be entertaining. Hopefully you guys will like it, because I've never done something like this before on my channel at all. I have 30 days to watch the movie. They only knock it down to 48 hours or 24 hours once I hit play. So with me, I'm going to finish the book, do the review of it, and then I'm going to go and I'm going to basically um, watch the movie, see, what did they cut from the movie that was in the book. I am actually going to buy. No, I'm not going to buy. I actually have the ebook edition of The Hunger Games that I borrowed from the library. So what I'm actually going to do is, instead of um, returning it back to the library, I'm actually going to go and keep it. And I'm just going to follow the book as I follow the movie. And anytime that there is a change, like they've changed something in the movie compared to the book, I will stop the movie and comment on it. But if I do this, I'm doing this on my day off. That way I don't have to worry about having to come in. I can just sit back and enjoy the movie and everything. But yeah. Now, how does the Hunger Games differentiate, or how do I pronounce it? How is it different from your more modern so-called dystopia movies? Or not movies, but books. Well, point blank, the difference between the Hunger Games trilogy and even the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and even the Sunset of the Reaping, it shows a totalitarian and dystopian government. And what basically happened was that there was a open rebellion against the Capitol, and the Capitol won. And to punish the districts for what they did, the Hunger Games were created. The reason that there is violence against children in the book series is because of the fact that this is their punishment for what their ancestors did. So if you go and look at another story, and I know this is going to be a pretty long video, if you look at another story where children or teens are used to make a country pay for what they've done, or a group of people to pay for what they've done, you look at the story of the Minotaur. The Minotaur is Minos' punishment for trying to for sacrificing a lesser bull to Poseidon. So Poseidon goes to Aphrodite and has Aphrodite make Minos' wife fall in love with the bull, and she gives birth to the Minotaur. What Minos does is, Minos' older son, heir to the throne, goes to Athens, competes in their little games, and ends up being killed. Minos punishes Athens by forcing them to, I forgot how many years, or certain number of years, to bring tribute, to bring sacrifice to be consumed by the Minotaur. And so you have Theseus, who has to defeat the Minotaur and free his country from Crete. So that is an example of a group of people being punished for what they did to another group of people. So modern day so-called modern day dystopians are nothing like the Hunger Games, nothing like 1984 or Brave New World, or a slew of dystopian governments and dystopian worlds. The authors that write these books, first of all, don't really understand how to establish a dystopian world. They especially dystopian fantasy, which is what I am writing right now. You have people that have these really annoying female characters that you do not root, you cannot root, you won't even go and see their movie. But with the Hunger Games, it was different. This girl was smart. She was courageous. She was doing this to protect her family. And later on, we find out what she ends up doing. And she ends up, for people that have read the books, spoiler, she saves, she overthrows the government. At least that's what I have been told. But it was that moment in the first book that started it. Because unlike so-called dystopian books like Nightbane, or the first book, you really get a sense, even from the movie, that this is not a world you want to live in. This is a world in which how they control the people of Purim is through fear, through hunger, through laws that dictate and control what they do. And as I said, I have read the first 8 chapters of the book. I could not put this book down. It's that good. And it really made me believe that there was some hope for the dystopian genre. But one of the interesting things that they say, what she writes in the book, is that the government, when the districts or the parts of America that were going against the Capitol, they actually trained, they were called mutations, and they were trained to memorize not just how people talked, but what they said. And I think that was one of the reasons that they were able to win the war like they did. Now, in all honesty, and if Susan Collins does come across my video at some point in the future, I would really love her to write a book about the revolt. I really would love to, because that would be an amazing kind of thing. But yeah, so I don't really know if this covers the first Hunger Game. I don't know. It might. I don't know. I have to look. But it's it would actually be cool if this actually did cover the first Hunger Game. If anybody could find out for me, I'll look it up myself. But yeah, so as much as I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of more recent dystopians, or so-called dystopians, because I feel like that they're trying to they don't like to write about oppressive governments. They just like to write about climate change and stuff and call it dystopian. But with Susan Collins, she wrote what I would consider a true dystopian. And that is the huge reasons why I borrowed the video from Amazon, why I got all 5 of the books, because all 5 of them I have not read, well, except for somewhat Hunger Games and everything. So, yeah, and even today, if you go and say, oh, I really love the Hunger Games, for people that that either was too young to remember the movies, or they hadn't yet been born, they have no idea what you're talking about. And I really think that people really should pick this series up, because this series, the first movie adaptation of the first book, was absolutely wonderful. I loved that movie so much. I remember me, my mother, and my brother actually sat down and watched The Hunger Games. And Jennifer Lawrence's acting was so good. And of course, the one of the Home Alone, not Home Alone, sorry, Home Improvement boys who now grew up, he was in it. And I know the actor who played President Snow, who died, I think he died last year. Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland. He died last year. He was so good in it. He was. They got some top notch actors in that, and of course that one actor, I can't remember his name. He's at the newest book is actually about him. I always saw him like playing, these comedic, like these funny roles, and to see him playing something that was serious was a shocker. It absolutely was. But anyways, I am going to end it there. And yeah. So if you guys ever read The Hunger Games, don't give me spoilers about what happens in the second and third book, because I want to be surprised. But yeah, so I will read the book first, and then I will watch the movie. And unlike, oh, I'm going to read the next book next month. No, I'm going to read them back to back to back. The only difference is the newest one doesn't have a movie yet, and that will probably come out if they really truly want to do it, which I have a feeling they already said they're going to do it. It'll probably come out in like 2027. So anyways, hopefully they'll get some really good acting and all that. But yeah. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.